Good Tuesday evening, February 11th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The identity of the bus driver who was one of 4 people killed in Sunday afternoon's multi-vehicle accident has been released. It's the final day for the February special election, with voters deciding on school levy questions throughout Chelan, Douglas, and Grant counties. Expect chilly daytime highs and cold overnight lows to continue for at least a couple more days. Your full local weather forecast is straight ahead. The Chelan-Douglas Health District issued an urgent warning to Valley residents yesterday regarding the presence of fentanyl in local methamphetamine. Recent reports to the district from its healthcare partners indicate that meth is being contaminated with fentanyl in local communities. Fentanyl is a highly potent opioid and can be up to 50 times stronger than heroin, causing overdoses even in small amounts. The CDHD is urging everyone to exercise caution and be aware of this contamination issue. If you suspect someone is experiencing an overdose, call 911. The identity of the bus driver who was one of 4 people killed in Sunday afternoon's multi-vehicle accident has been released. The Washington State Patrol says 66-year-old Michael W. Meacham of Spokane was behind the wheel of the Northwestern Stage Line's charter bus traveling from Seattle to Spokane when it was struck head-on by a Toyota Camry on Highway 28 near Rock Island. Meacham is the only victim of the wreck who has so far been identified. He and the 2 occupants of the Camry, both East Wenatchee teenagers, were declared dead at the scene, while a passenger on the bus died later at Confluence Health Hospital. A news release from the Spokane-based bus company described Meacham as talented and dedicated. The Eastmont School District told NCWLIFE News one of the teens killed in the Camry was an Eastmont High School junior and the other a former student. The precise cause of the crash is still not known. The first of a dozen men arrested last summer in an online sex abuse dragnet has entered a guilty plea. 26-year-old Jacob Ryan C. of East Wenatchee pleaded guilty in Douglas County Court on Friday to a felony count of attempted indecent liberties, plus a gross misdemeanor charge of communicating with a minor for immoral purposes. C. and 9 other Wenatchee men, plus 2 men from other cities, were arrested in July as part of the Washington State Patrol's Net Nanny operation. That project aims to catch suspects who respond to phony online solicitations for commercial sex with a minor. C and other suspects allegedly came to selected locations around the valley with intent to follow up on those solicitations. He was initially charged with more substantial felonies, including attempted child rape and commercial sexual abuse of a minor. Prosecutors are recommending C spend 27 months in custody. The YMCA has received the building permit for its new 2-story building on 5th Street and Wenatchee Avenue. The approval from the city allows the building to be constructed on a portion of the former Chelan County PUD campus property. Wenatchee YMCA Executive Director Dory Foster told our media partner, the Wenatchee World, that construction is scheduled to begin in March, with the formal groundbreaking ceremony taking place in April. The new building is expected to be complete by the end of 2026 and will include a lap and leisure pool, kitchen, lockers, daycare, and more. When we come back, Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort will discuss recent and upcoming changes at a public forum at Pybus Public Market tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. And the Douglas Okanagan Fire District is looking for new volunteers. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. We can lift this up here. Lifetime warranty.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
It's the final day for the February special election, with voters deciding on school levy questions throughout Chelan, Douglas, and Grant counties. Ballots were due to be turned in by 8 p.m. today at your local elections office or drop box. The Wenatchee School District is among the districts replacing its educational programs and operations levies, accounting for 12% of the district's total budget. Cascade School District, based in Leavenworth, and the Ephrata School District are likewise asking for EP&O approvals to pay for programs and activities not funded by the state, including arts and athletics. You can find current updates about which way those votes are swinging on our website, NCWLIFE.com, after polls close this evening. Birch Mountain Road in Wenatchee will begin its seasonal closure Friday, February 14th. The road will be closed at the upper dirt portion where the gate is located. Additionally, Horse Lake Road in Wenatchee, Mountain Home Road in Leavenworth, and Oklahoma Gulch Road near Eniad are closed for the winter season. All 4 roads are set to reopen on April 1st. Seasonal closures are put in place to protect dirt roads from damage that can be done by vehicles during winter conditions and to protect mule deer herds. Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort will discuss recent and upcoming changes at a public forum at Pybus Public Market tomorrow at 5:30 p.m., organized by the Wenatchee World. Resort representatives will talk expansion plans, introduce the resort's new general manager, Matt Neubauer, and more, all coming up at this free event. Mission Ridge's expansion project, which includes 621 condominiums, 275 single-family units, a 57-room lodge, and housing for 80 employees, has 5 phases and could take more than 20 years to complete. Ridge managers say if allowed to go forward, the massive growth is expected to generate 669 full-time jobs by year 10 of that project. Volunteer firefighters are the engine that makes rural fire departments operate. But recruitment has stagnated in the last 5 years, and agencies like Douglas Okanagan Fire District 15 in Brewster are beating the bushes for new volunteers. The district issued a call for new volunteers on Facebook. Here's a sample.
It means that you are willing to give your time to the community and help the community when it needs you the most. When you're out there helping your community, you're not expecting anything in return.
Watching the wildfires growing up, seeing how it impacted the community, and then just seeing those guys out there constantly just like being heroes, helping save people's houses, just different structures, really inspired me to one day join the district, and I'm really glad I made that decision.
I feel like others should join to help us build our forces up into bigger numbers. We used to have bigger numbers, but as the time goes on, people either move away or they have other responsibilities what to do. I feel like others should join to help the community.
Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we continue our conversation with 2 Wenatchee Valley firefighters who recently returned from the devastating California wildfires. This cold weather will continue for another couple of days before wet and warmer conditions arrive this weekend. I'll have your local weather forecast coming up. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Remember when you could afford to have fun on two wheels without breaking the bank? Maybe you started on a Honda Z50 or a Trail 70 or one of the most popular Hondas of all time, the Trail 90. Well, Honda and Doghouse Motorsports are making fun affordable again. Introducing the Honda Monkey, the Dax, and the new updated Trail 125, all featuring fuel-injected four-stroke engines with electric start. The best part of all, they are affordably priced under $5,000. Whether you're just getting started or you want to get back at it, Doghouse Motorsports has you covered.
Firefighters from departments throughout the Northwest were deployed to Los Angeles County during the historic wildfires that damaged that region. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department was no exception. In tonight's features story, NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins spoke recently with Captain Jordan Kuntz and firefighter George Ramos, who recently returned from an 18-day deployment. They say there's lessons to be learned from the experience.
A lot of what you do is structural defense in the wildland-urban interface. So do you feel like that had prepared you, George? I'll start with you, for what you were dealing with in California. I mean, did you have lessons that you learned here that you said, I can apply this to the Palisades fire?
I did. Just like the structural protection here at home when we have these wildfires, in our backyards. That's one of the first things we try to do really quickly, and just kind of being aggressive. Fighting fire.
With the training that we've received throughout our careers, we were doing exactly what we were trained to do. We show up and we do home assessments, and like George was talking about, we remove all the combustibles within that first 5 to 30 feet, and which increases the chance of survival by quite a bit. Other things we would do is pull hose lines around, or even use the garden hose from the house and help pre-treat stuff, so wet stuff down prior to the fire's arrival. So yeah, the lessons we've learned here just went right into what we were doing down there.
When you were doing that pre-treatment, did you discover any issues with, say, water pressure or the availability of water resources?
We did not have any issues in the part of the fire that we were on.
Did you have, in general, the logistics, the supplies, the information that you needed? Did you feel like it was a well-run operation, or did you find areas where you just could have used a little bit more support somehow?
It went really, really well. So the incident management team that was managing it while we were there, they come with all the overhead positions to manage operations, logistics, and all of that stuff. So when we showed up, they had a fire camp set up, they had food set up, meals set up for lunch, breakfast, dinner. Hotels they have somebody running logistics and getting us hotels. It was a really smooth operation.
How long was the working period in a given day? How many hours were you spending out there, do you think?
24 to, one day was 36 straight before we got off, yeah.
Really? Okay, so no sleep for a day and a half, essentially.
Sometimes, as George was saying, we would, in the night, if nothing was going on, we would take turns sleeping.
Conversely, I asked what you had learned here that you could apply there. Do you feel like working on this particular fire under those circumstances taught you any lessons that you could bring back home to the Wenatchee Valley for use in future firefighting or future fire prevention?
Recognizing faults, I guess, in what we try to teach the public as far as defensible space. We saw a lot of areas down there that didn't have great defensible space. So actually seeing it and seeing how the fire impacts it when you don't have the vegetation setback like we suggest, and seeing what it can do, that's going to help me and give me that experience. So when I talk to our local citizens, I have experience now, and I can tell them, advise them that the 5-foot initial zones that we talk about and the 30-foot zones that we talk about is impactful, keeping those clear.
Time now to take a look at your north central Washington weather forecast, and I hope you had a great Tuesday. It was crisp out there, to say the least, today, and you wouldn't know it by looking out our weather window from this afternoon. This is our neighbors over in Grant County, Ephrata, and looked pretty clear that way. We saw lots of blue skies here today as well, and a little bit of wind blowing, though, over in Grant County, and that made for some very chilly wind chills down into the single numbers this afternoon. And our cold weather, yeah, it's going to continue at least for a couple more days as we get you into Wednesday. Look at that, 7 overnight tonight, 22 to 23 our high tomorrow, 25 on Thursday, and then we jump up above freezing on Friday. We'll stay that way into Saturday, mid-30s Sunday, and even 40 degrees then as we get into Monday. But things are going to get wetter, and we'll talk more about that in a second. But weather changes, here we go in a second. Right now, as we talk about our weather through Thursday, is going to be cold. Temperatures, as we just talked about, in the 20s for highs, single digits for lows. And then from Friday, especially into Monday, we have a good chance that we're going to see snow at first and then a rain-snow mix as we get into Sunday. So expect wet weather, but the good news out of all of that this weekend, we will warm up. So we just have to get through these next couple of days. 25, our unofficial high temperature today, and that is 15 degrees below where we should be at for this time of year at 40. Our record 56, that was set in 1967. Look at that, we set a new record low overnight, 9 degrees. That breaks our old record of 12, set just a few years ago in 2019. Our normal low temperature, 27 this time of year. Sunrise 7:12 and the sun set at 5:19. Taking a look at our temperatures getting into Wednesday, not much better. In fact, we're going to cool down just a little bit as we get into Wednesday. 26 in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 25 for Quincy, and here's where we get cold. Ellensburg 23, 22s from Wenatchee through Eniat and to Chelan and up into Omak. 18 for the high temperature tomorrow in Lake Wenatchee, 20 in Leavenworth, and 21 is all for a high temperature tomorrow up in Kashmir. So taking a look at tonight, we do expect clear skies. It's this area of high pressure that's really fueling this cold air. A trough moving down in through the central part of the country. Clear, and that means cold. We're talking single digits overnight tonight. For Wednesday, sunny, and we're going to stay unseasonably cold. High temperatures tomorrow only into the low 20s for almost all of us, central and eastern Washington. But notice an area of low pressure beginning to push in, and as it does on Thursday, we expect more clouds, and yes, that's our first chance for precipitation. Will that come north and catch just the Wenatchee Valley and the Moses Lake area? We'll see about that on Thursday. High temperatures in the mid-20s for your Friday. That's the good news is we're going to start warming up. Cloudy skies, a 30% chance of snow, very scattered throughout the west on Friday. High temperatures in the low 30s, and you can just see high pressure beginning to build a ridge up and over us, and that will happen as we get into Saturday. But cloudy skies, a 60% chance of snow, and there's that next storm system. It's going to bring all of us some sort of precip on Saturday. High temperatures in the low 30s. By the time we end our weekend on Sunday, we're going to stay on the cloudy sky side, and that will go for all of the west. There's our 50-50 chance for rain-snow mix. I think most of it will be in the mountains on Sunday. A slight warm-up, too, into the mid-30s on Sunday. And then on Monday, there's that area of high pressure beginning to move north. And as it does, we're going to see some warmer air, although a 50% chance of rain. The good news, I guess, high temperatures back to normal, right around 40 degrees. All right, taking a look at your 7-day forecast. Get ready for a couple more cold days. 7 the overnight low tonight, 7 as well tomorrow night. Highs only in the low to mid 20s. We'll stay that way on Thursday with about a 40% chance of snow. And then we're going to warm up almost 10 degrees from Thursday into Friday. We're going to stay on the wet side, though, a mix of rain and snow Friday right through Monday. But look at that slow warm up, especially Sunday Sunday at 36, and by Monday, we're talking highs almost 40 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. With durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all. You need the Kubota construction lineup. Right now, write it off a lot and write it off your taxes for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $4,000.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new midsize Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Happy Tuesday. There's one game of interest in college women's basketball that is happening today. In fact, it's already underway. Haley Van Lith looking for a big bounce-back game after her performance on Sunday. Had just 6 points, fouled out early in the game. TCU is taking on BYU, the game available on ESPN+. The Wenatchee Wild returned home last night long enough to sleep in familiar beds before heading off for Spokane tonight. A 6-game road trip, particularly disappointing as Wenatchee won just one of the 6 games. Wild broadcaster Austin Andrade visited with Dan Kuntz on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley this morning. He says the team had, of course, much higher hopes for the Canadian swing.
It was a trip where 6 games in 9 days is incredibly hard. It's taxing on the guys physically. It's taxing on them mentally. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It's like being a rock band on tour. You're in a new town and playing a new show every single night. But it's taxing for the guys. You really have to kind of gut your way through it and grit it out. And it was a trip where we'd play really well for stretches, but we wouldn't be able to put that full 60 minutes together. We'd play a great first period, play a great second, we'd hang on to the game in the third, and our grip would slip, and a good team on the other side would take it from us. Or we'd get off to a slow start, and we'd come roaring in the second and third period, but we're in too big a hole to dig out of. So it was a week of close but not quite, and there was a lot of that on the trip. Saw some really good things, probably not consistently enough to get more than 3 points out of the trip.
What made the trip seem even longer than coming up short on the ice was the extreme cold temperatures outside and snowy conditions.
6 games in a 9-day trip. You got the day before to travel, you got the day after to travel, so gone for 11 days on the bus. This was a long stretch. I know the wind chill got down to 34 below at one point while we were up in Moose Jaw, I believe. So it was a long trip, a snowy trip, a cold trip. Glad to get home. Glad to get back into a routine and get back to work.
Another blow to Wenatchee's game came when top goal scorer Sean Rios was suspended following Wenatchee's game at Brandon. Dragnet says it followed a blow to the head of a Wheat King player.
So against Brandon, he took a penalty for a check to the head about 5 minutes into the second period. Showed it on the replay. It was one that had to be called, and lost him for the rest of the game. Found out we knew he was going to be out for Friday's game at Regina, so he didn't play that night, and ended up picking up a six-game time off for that one. So we'll be without one of our top scorers. He's had a hot stick for us right now, so that means that scoring is going to have to come from other guys in the lineup. And right now we've got some lines that have kind of cooled off here. We're going to need somebody to really step up and take the lead for scoring for us right now. We've had injuries through the season. We've had guys out of the lineup as the season has gone on, and we've been able to get guys in and take over those roles and step up to the challenge when we've needed them to. And now over the next few games, we're going to need somebody to step up and do that again for us.
Wenatchee plays the final game of the road trip tonight in Spokane against a team that has caught fire as of late because of earlier trades that, according to Dragnet, have one of the best lines in the entire league.
They're making a run at the really at the WHL title and the Western Conference title this year. They've got a line, and they've come up large a lot since they came together. You talk about good chemistry. These guys have good chemistry with each other, and they play at a different speed. Andrew Crystal, Berkeley Catton, who's a Kraken prospect. Crystal's a Washington Capitals prospect. And Shea Van Olm is right up there. I think he might still be in the league lead for goals scored. That's their top three line. It might be the best combo in junior hockey right now. And they've got a goaltender at the back end in Dawson Cowan, who I think is going to be playing the sport for a very long time and probably making some money doing it. So it's a good team that brings a lot to the table. It's a team that we didn't play at 60 minutes enough on the road this past week, and I think that's got to change here tonight.
You can hear Austin's call of tonight's game locally on radio at 560 KPQ. Wenatchee returns home to host the Portland Winterhawks on Friday at the Town Toyota Center. Well, playoff basketball continues for the high schools in our region tonight. The first round of the District 5 1B tournament is today at Moses Lake Christian. The Orville girls face Entiat. Cascade Christian and Moses Lake Christian play afterwards at 7:30. Central Washington 2B League tournament wraps up today with Tonasket facing Lake Roosevelt for third and fourth. That's at Okanagan High School. Okanagan and Brewster play for the league title at Omak High School coming up at 6 o'clock. Regular season basketball, Eastmont hosts Wenatchee in Big 9 play tonight. That'll be at 5:30. Tonight's the first round of the District 5 2A boys tournament. Quincy visits East Valley. Toppenish hosts Ephrata. The District 5 1A tournament also begins tonight with Cowan Benton at Chelan. Omak visits Zilla, and Wapato travels to Cashmere. Central Washington 2B League tournament concludes with Liberty Bell playing against Lake Roosevelt at Okanagan at 6 for the title. Tonasket faces Okanagan at 7:30 in Omak for third and fourth place. Eastmont boys are hosting Wenatchee tonight at 7 o'clock. Speaking of which, NCWLIFE is courtside tonight for the Panthers and the Wildcats. This is the third time they've played this season. Eastmont looking for the 3-game sweep on both the boys and girls sides. We'll have the girls streamed live on our Facebook page. The boys game will be live on TV and Facebook starting at 7 o'clock. Grant Olson with your play-by-play. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Tuesday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.